Hi, my name is Carol Odonnell, and I'm the Executive Director of the Smithsonian Science Education Center. This is the Smithsonian Institution where I work, and Secretary Lonnie Bunch, who is our leader, is a lifelong educator who has dedicated his career to diversity, equity, accessibility, inclusion, and belonging. His grand challenge in education is to answer this question: how do we dismantle structural and systemic racism and ensure that all children gain a world-class education, especially over the past few years when access to education has been disrupted and resources allocated for education have been dramatically reduced? At the Smithsonian Institution, we believe that in grades pre-K through 12th grade, we must ensure equity in education, whether in science education, math education, STEM education, or the education of history, art, and culture. To ensure equity in education, the following 4 things have to be true. The principles of diversity, equity, accessibility, inclusion, and belonging must be integral in the conception, design, and implementation of all of our work. Our work must be contextualized to communities and relevant to learners. The learning experiences we create must be centered on the whole child and culturally respectful and appropriate. Our work must include multiple vectors addressing community, family, and school, serving students both in school and out of school. Now, our long-term goal, of course, is that we must be able to translate the outcomes of diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion into social, economic outcomes for youth. At the Smithsonian, we are not only 21 museums, 9 research centers, 5 education centers, 21 libraries, and a zoo. We are also a set of cultural institutions. Whether it is our own Smithsonian Institution, where our secretary lies, or the National Museum of African American History and Culture, our Asian Pacific American Center, our Smithsonian Latino Center, which has now been deemed to be a museum by Congress, our Anacostia Community Museum, and our American Women's History Initiative, which has also by Congress been mandated to be converted to a new museum on American women's history, as well as the Folklife Festival. We hope that each one of you have been able to come to the Smithsonian at some point in your life, but please know our work in STEM education, the work that I direct, at the heart of that work is the idea that equity is crucial. Now, we use several terms when we talk about equity at the Smithsonian, and it's built on this idea. The fact that research shows that STEM organizations that are diverse in terms of gender, race, socioeconomic status, ethnicity, ability, geography, religion, gender identity, etc., that diversity matters. But diversity alone is not enough. We must also provide an inclusive environment that values diversity, promotes a sense of belonging, in which people are better able to retain talent because of that those individuals will be more engaged and productive, more innovative, and generally higher performing organizations. Now, what do we mean when we talk about the words diversity, equity, accessibility, inclusion, and belonging? So I'm going to give you a minute. You can pause the video if you'd like, but each one of these terms means something very different. So what I've done is on the left, I've listed the 5 terms. On the right, I've listed 5 definitions. I want you to stop the video and I want you to work in your teams to see if you can match the words on the left with the definitions on the right. I'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, now the suggested definitions of these terms. On the left, we would define accessibility as giving equitable entry to everyone along the continuum of human ability and experience. Second, inclusion, ensuring diverse individuals fully participate in all aspects of the work, including decision-making and engineering solutions. Diversity, all the ways that people are different and the same at the individual level as well as the group level. Belonging, the human emotional need to be an accepted member of a group. And equity, fair and just treatment of all members. You can ensure a group is diverse. You can ensure that people are being treated fairly and justly. You can ensure that you're giving equitable entry to everyone along the human ability continuum. And you can ensure that people are feeling as if they're fully participating in the work. In the end, if you do all of these things, provide diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion, the goal is to promote a sense of belonging. Now, I'm going to show you a graphic. Feel free to use it, tweet it, share it by social media. But I want you to find examples of diversity, equity, accessibility, inclusion, and belonging in the image shown on the next slide. Again, I'll share the slide. You can pause the video. And in your groups, talk about examples where you see examples of diversity, equity, accessibility, inclusion, and belonging in the image shown. And finally, I want to share with you some of the free resources that the Smithsonian Science Education Center provides to support equity in STEM teaching and learning. Please don't hesitate to apply to attend our free convenings, access our free resources, or reach out to us for us to work directly with you. Without the support of public, private, and social sector partnerships, grants, and philanthropic opportunities, we would not be able to do this. So thank you so much for supporting the Smithsonian Science Education Center and supporting the work that you do in your schools and school districts, state education agencies, educational organizations to support equity in STEM teaching and learning. Thanks so much.